Thank you. My name is John Source, live from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. We have just received info that the Red Sox have acquired pitcher Jake Peavy from the White Sox in a three-team trade that sent shortstop Jose Iglesias to the Tigers, and the Red Sox have also sent three minor leaguers to the Tigers, or the White Sox rather, and the White Sox also received outfielder Avisel Garcia from the Tigers. We'll have more on this in a minute. Now I'll send it back to the studio.
Hi, Tim Nugent here at Jackal Stadium talking about the New York Jets quarterback situation, and boy has it been exciting. Mark Sanchez and Geno Smith battling it out for the starting quarterback in Week 1. Mark Sanchez has the edge because Geno Smith is only a rookie, and Mark Sanchez has a lot more experience. Back to the studio.
All right, thanks. I'm Jesse Kirsch here live at Yankee Stadium. And where else would you want to be for breaking New York drama? Derek Jeter, first pitch back off the disabled list, hits it right out of the park. And the Yankees really needed that distraction now more than ever because Alex Rodriguez is facing a possible lifetime ban from Major League Baseball coming right down from Bud Selig. We'll have more on that story as it breaks throughout the coming weeks. In the meantime, from the Bronx, I'm Jesse Kirsch for MSG Varsity, sending it back up to the studio.
Thank you. I'm Alex Hager here live at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois, site of yesterday's Gold Cup final between the USA and Panama. Panama coming in riding high up that upset semifinal over Mexico. They came in, gave the U.S. a real tough challenge in the first half, leading to a 0-0 tie at the end of the first. Breck Shea, however, came in as the late sub and off a beautiful flick pass from Landon Donovan, put one in the net, giving the U.S. the 1-0 win and the Gold Cup final. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Thanks. This is Logan Grossman reporting live from Yogi Berra Stadium with an update on the New Jersey Devils. They've had an eventful offseason so far, losing Ilya Kovalchuk to retirement and David Clarkson to free agency to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Devils look to replace their scoring touch with free agents Michael Ryder, Ryan Crow, and Jaromir Jagr. Well, we'll just have to wait and see as the Devils look to make the playoffs after missing last year. Thanks, and back to you in the studio.
Thanks. I'm Jacob Resnick here at Madison Square Garden in New York with the Knicks, where they've been doing a lot of wheeling and dealing this offseason. They first selected Tim Hardaway Jr. in the NBA draft. They then traded Steve Novak, Marcus Camby, and Quentin Richardson to the Toronto Raptors for Andrea Bargnani. They then signed Meta World Peace, who was amnestied by the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of guys are still here: Carmelo Anthony, Tyson Chandler. That's all I got. Back to the studio.
Thanks a lot. I'm Brian Goudsworth in Miami, where the Mets came up with a 4-2 victory against the Marlins in extra innings. John Buck delivered the keynote in the top of the 10th with a two-run single up the middle to make it 4-2. But the big story was Zach Wheeler had a no-hitter through 6 1/3 broken up. Still a strong outing for the Mets. They've now won 2 straight. They'll play Game 3 of this 4-game series against the Marlins this evening. That's all we have for today. Back to the studio.
All right, thanks. Hi, I'm Max Scherzer. The Celtics and Nets were part of a blockbuster deal that sends Jason Terry, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett to the Nets. The Nets will benefit greatly from this trade, which will add depth to their lineup and to their bench. The Celtics, who are in a rebuilding phase of their career, will benefit greatly from the draft picks, Gerald Wallace and Chris Humphries. The most important thing we can ask is, can the Nets win a title again? That's it for today. My name is Max Scherzer. Let's send it back to the studio.
All right, thanks. This is Kevin Fell reporting live from South Bend, Indiana at the Notre Dame Fighting Irish training camp. I was talking with Coach Brian Kelly earlier today, and he says that with Everett Golson out, he will be starting Tommy Reese over Andrew Hendricks at starting quarterback. And also on defense, look out for cornerback Danny Spond, defensive end Stephon Tuitt, and defensive tackle Lewis Nix III. And he also says running back Richardson the back to the studio.
Tomorrow night Thanks. I'm Tom Prizeman. I'm here at Citi Field where the MLB All-Star Game just finished up. The word amazing is one of the most over used in sports. But in this case, it fits perfectly. Mariano Rivera just finished his 5-minute standing ovation, then pitched a perfect 8th inning and picked up the game's MVP award. It was just truly an amazing moment. Mets fans, baseball fans, standing in support of Mariano Rivera. Now, let's send it back to the studio. Guys, take it away.
Thanks. Hello, my name is Alex Limpio, and I'm at the home of the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers made a big move this offseason, signing 7-footer Andrew Bynum. This could be a huge move for them considering they have very young talent. LeBron James also said he would definitely think about going back to Cleveland next year, after he will be a free agent in the 2014 season. Thank you, and again, my name is Alex Olympio, and let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks. I'm Matt Zofchik here live at Fenway Park in beautiful Boston, Massachusetts with some breaking news. The Boston Red Sox have just acquired pitcher Jake Peavy from the Chicago White Sox in a blockbuster deal. The White Sox in the deal have acquired also 3 prospects from the Boston Red Sox. The Tigers in the deal also acquired Jose Iglesias from the Boston Red Sox. Thanks again. I'm Matt Zofchik, and I'm sending it back to the studio.
Thanks, I'm Isaiah Ladisher in Camp Nou, Barcelona, Spain. FC Barcelona's newest squad member will be Neymar da Silva out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Neymar was signed to Barcelona with a $75 million contract. The new young prodigy from Brazil has everyone raving about his skills-to-beat defenders and his amazing hair. Barcelona will have a great team, probably most likely to win the Champions League, with one of the soccer gods, Messi and Neymar, on the side. Back to the studio.
Thanks. Hello, I'm Jacob Kronberg reporting here live at Marlins Park in Miami. The Marlins are here to take on the New York Mets. Mets coming off losing 3 out of 4 to the Washington Nationals, but have taken the first 2 games of this 3-game set. First game was won in a score of 6-5, and game 2 went into 10 innings, but thanks to John Buck's 2-run single in the 10th, the Mets won 4-2. Mets trying to turn around the season here after starting off very slow, but they've picked it up after the All-Star break. Once again, I'm Jacob Kronberg. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Peter Gormley outside the Toyota Center in Houston. And Houston, we do not have a problem. We have a 6'11" center who led the league in rebounding last year. Dwight Howard has signed with the Houston Rockets for a 4-year deal to team up with James Harden and the rest of the Rockets. It looks like Dwight Howard's going to have to change his name from Superman to Rocket Man. That's all we have for today. Back to you.
Thanks a lot. Brian Adji reporting from Yogi Berra Stadium in Montclair, New Jersey with MLB trade deadline rumors. The Texas Rangers, who have already acquired Matt Garza, have put their closer Joe Nathan on the market. Texas in need of a bat, interested in Atlanta Braves catcher Brian McCann. Also, their former shortstop Michael Young in Philadelphia has said that he will only approve of a trade back to Texas, so that's something to look forward to as the trade deadline approaches. That's all I have for now. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks, guys. I'm Zach Smolin, coming to you live here from beautiful Dodger Stadium here in Los Angeles, California. Today, the Yankees are taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers to try to split this 2-game set by sending out their ace, Hiroki Kuroda, against other ace, Clayton Kershaw, NL ERA leader. The Yankees will have to shut down rookie phenom Yasiel Puig, as well as other big hitters such as Hanley Ramirez and Adrian Gonzalez. Hopefully, they can get their bats going. All right, thanks a lot. I'm Zach Smolin. Back to you at the studio. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Max Marcella outside of Citi Field in Flushing, New York, where Matt Harvey is throwing another incredible game. Harvey, the Mets ace, is 8-2 on the season with the second-best ERA in the National League, an ERA that is only behind Clayton Kershaw. Harvey started the All-Star game and will be bringing New York Met fans a lot of bright moments in the future. We will expect to see Harvey in a lot of no-hitter and perfect game opportunities in the future. I'm Max Marcel outside of Citi Field. Back to the studio.
Thanks. I'm Sean Martin. Reporting live from Yankee Stadium. Major League Baseball expects to announce their suspensions on Friday of players linked to the Biogenesis Clinic in Miami. Amongst those players, the infamous Alex Rodriguez, who could be facing a lifetime ban if unsuccessful in his appeal, which will suspend him for the rest of this season and all of the 2014 season. The Yankee third baseman has not played in a single game this year. That's all the time we have for you. Back to the studio.
My name is Zach Hudak, and I'm here reporting live from Yankee Stadium. Derek Jeter has been on the DL for the whole season, and he just came back today off the DL. He made his season debut hitting a infield single down the third base line. On his second at bat, he's grounded out to second base. While running down the first base line, he injured his quad. He may be on the DL for the next 15 days. That's all the time we have for today. Back to the studio.
Thanks very much. Hey, everybody, I'm Evan Siegel outside the beautiful Toyota Center, where things are certainly looking up for those Rockets. Pairing James Harden and Dwight Howard with an intense cast of role players like Jeremy Lin, Chandler Parsons, and Omer Asik have Kevin McHale a very happy head coach. The only thing left for him and Rockets fan to say is, Houston, we have no problems, and we are most definitely go for launch. That's all I have for now. I'll be back later. Follow me on Twitter, but for now, let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks. I'm Joe Zapata reporting from Yankee Stadium, and don't call it a comeback. After spending the entire 2013 season struggling from the right side of the plate, the Yankees were able to add some power to their lineup by bringing back Alfonso Soriano, acquiring him from the Chicago Cubs in exchange for a minor league pitcher. Soriano had 32 home runs last season and had 17 home runs this season before the All-Star break. Well, I'm Joe Zapata. Back to the studio.
Thanks a lot. Andrew Badillo reporting live outside the Toyota Center in downtown Houston, where Dwight Howard has just arrived on the eve of signing his $88 million contract with the Houston Rockets to sign and come with teammates Chandler Parsons, Jeremy Lin, and James Harden. He looks to contend against the Miami Heat in the playoffs next year, and he turned down a contract with the Lakers for over $100 million. Well, that's all the time I have for now. Send it back to the studio.
Hi, I'm Chris Russo, and I'm live from Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees host the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. They have recently traded for Alfonso Soriano, a power source from the Chicago Cubs and a former Yankee. The Yankees desperately need Soriano in order to get into the playoffs because they have had a lack of run support this season to support their pitching, which has been very fine. So, the Yankees trying to get to the playoffs. Thank you. I'm Chris Russo. Back to the studio.
Thanks. I'm Emmett Laurie, reporting live from Fenway Park regarding the blockbuster deal that went down last night. In this trade, Jake Peavy went from the Chicago White Sox to the Boston Red Sox, who will be crucial in the Red Sox push to the playoffs. The Boston Red Sox had to give up big in terms of Jose Iglesias, who went to the Tigers, who can possibly replace Johnny Peralta if he goes down for the Biogenesis Clinic scandal. Finally, the Chicago White Sox acquired number 3 prospect Avisel Garcia. Back to the studio.
Thanks. I'm Nick Hudak. Well, the MLB trade deadline is heating up here in July, as 3 key prospects have been traded to contenders. Alfonso Soriano returns to the Bronx as he sets to hit home runs in Yankee Stadium. Matt Garza gets traded to the Texas Rangers from the Chicago Cubs in exchange for prospects and cash. Also, Jake Peavy has returned to the Red Sox. We'll see what unfolds, and back to the studio.
Thanks. My name is Justin Sweetwood, reporting live from Citi Field here in New York City, the site of the 2013 MLB All-Star Game. But to last night, the Home Run Derby, you have powerful sluggers like Chris Davis, who leads the league in home runs, and Prince Fielder, who many expected to win the Derby, come in. But in the end, it was a shocker. You have Bryce Harper and Yoenis Cespedes battling it out, but it was Cespedes that powered his way over Harper to take the title. Thanks. I'm Justin Sweetwood. Back to the studio.